Mac Media Day continues from Ford Field, and we're pleased to be joined by the head coach of the University of Toledo-Rockets, Jason Candle. Coach Candle, appreciate the time. This year's team, you have 7 starters on offense, 5 starters on defense. Back when you look at this group, what look to be some strengths?
Well, I think just what every coach is going to sit here and tell you, you hope to be is your senior leadership. You hope that you're the fundamental things you try to develop in your team through January and February that ultimately carried into some really productive spring practices, and you hope you get your team back from the summer months and you're able to apply those things throughout fall camp, and just trying to find that level of consistency that would help you to become the championship team that you want to become. I think we have a very mature group of guys. You talked to a couple guys here earlier that are very two mature guys. They're going in their 5th year. We're going to have 10 or 11 guys in their 5th year of football here that have already got their undergrad degree in their hand, which should lead you to believe you've got a mature team and a mature group, and that's got to filter down throughout the course of the season through the rest of the locker room and help them chase their championship expectations, because we do have a talented group.
Picked to win your division of the conference, and the guys kind of alluded to it. It's nice, it's an honor, but you don't pay too much attention to it. As a coach, is that kind of the message that you've sent to him?
Yeah, it is. We sat right here 2 years ago in the same situation. We're able to parlay that into a championship season, and I think as the journey progressed itself, it was a really good core group of upperclassmen that embraced it in adverse moments that a college football season provides and will continue to provide. You never get too high, you never get too low, and you try to maintain as much consistency as you possibly can. It's obviously an honor to be picked first. It validates some of the work maybe we've put in the offseason. It validates some recruiting efforts by coaches over the last couple of years for everybody to believe you got a talented roster. But it doesn't win anything. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I'd like to be sitting here talking to you in front of a marathon banner here in December. So, that's what we're trying to meet expectations in our own building and amongst the walls that we do our business each and every day, and it seems to be that the expectations outside those walls are pretty high for Toledo. So if we can match them inside, I think we'll be able to do it outside too.
It looks like you have 2 guys in Mitch Guidani and Eli Peters that are capable of playing quarterback at a pretty high level in college football. It looks like they did that last year. How much of an advantage is that to a football team to know not only one, it looks like we have 2? Well,
anytime that position has a chance to get live bullets thrown at them and live experience, you can't simulate that. You try hard in practice to put those guys in tough moments and tough positions, but it's not really ever the same. So for them to be in those moments and those times, it gives them a leg up on maybe some of the other guys, but they have to validate it. They got to go practice. They got to do well in preseason camp. You got a couple other guys in that room that are young players that are hungry and want their shot as well. We have a lot of competition on our football team, and we have a lot of competition in all the meeting rooms, and quarterback included. So I think it's going to be a really productive camp. I'm really looking forward to seeing those guys validate their work from the summer and to see where this thing takes us.
7 starters return on offense. What do you see as being a strength of that group?
Well, it starts in the core with Bryce. I think the ability to run the football and control the line of scrimmage is that's absolutely critical in college football. That opens up everything that you want to do. That allows you to stretch the field vertically and laterally, allows playmakers to get one-on-one potential matchups outside, and then allows you to find creative ways to get those guys the ball. But if you can't handle the core of it and you're not good up front, and you don't have veteran players on the offensive line, that makes it really difficult. There's a really model of consistency in the running back room at this university and in our program for the last 6, 7, 8, 9 years that I've been here, and many years prior to me being here. So there's high expectations there. You got Bryant Koback coming back off a tremendous freshman year. You got Shaquille Seymour, who's back healthy and off of a 12 touchdown year 2 years ago. Ronnie Jones is playing running back now for his 2nd year, and a couple young freshmen that come in. So hopefully we can establish a really solid run game that will open up some one-on-one opportunities for what I believe are some really good young wideouts and tight ends.
5 back on the defense. I'll ask you the same thing. What is the strength on that side of the football?
Well, we've got a few guys that have played multiple years now. Nate Childress is a multiple-year starter. Jordan Fisher's going to be a multiple-year starter at linebacker. Khalil Robinson's a multi-year starter. Dadarlo Blue is a multi-year starter. Justin Clark's a multi-year starter. So You couple that experience with guys, with the 5 freshmen we played last year on defense that are now sophomores and 1 year older, 1 more year experience, 1 year bigger, 1 year stronger, 1 year faster. Hopefully that meshes and gels into being a group that plays really hard and flies to the football and understands the importance of situational football. So they're coming off a really good spring that quite honestly they were ahead of the offense, and hopefully we can continue that momentum into a great fall.
You mentioned multiple year starters, especially on defense. Does that let you get a little creative and maybe play with the scheme a little bit?
I think it has to. I think in today's college football, it's become so situational. You're talking about getting stops. You're not talking about how many yards you give up anymore. It's about getting stops. It's about getting eliminating points and preventing points. Really nobody really cares about yards per play anymore, or those statistics that were a big deal so many years ago. It's about how many times you can get off the field, and you're going to be in situations where you got to be able to be multiple in your approach and your attack. And I think our staff's been working hard through this offseason and through the summer to give us those opportunities, because we do have some guys that are much like offensive football, how that's played today, some specific things that they can do really, really well. Now it's our job to make sure we build a scheme around it that matches those players.
Jason Candle, head coach of the University of Toledo Rockets. Appreciate the time. Best of luck.
Thanks so much for having me.
Appreciate it. Mid-American Conference Football Media Day will continue here on cleveland.com and MLive. Stay with us.